Hello, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, today I'm going to be reading only books of genres that I've never read before. I have a few genres in mind that I've never read before, so today I think I'm going to pick up a thriller book, a nonfiction book, and a mystery book. I've never read any of those genres. I have attempted to read a nonfiction book before, but I did not get through that, so I'm going to attempt that again in this vlog. I actually don't have any idea what books I'm going to read, so the first thing we're going to do is a little bit of research to figure out what books I'm going to pick up, and then we're going to head to the bookstore. So my research is actually going to consist of TikTok, YouTube, and Goodreads, and then I'm probably just going to compile like maybe a list of 3 books from each genre that I'm looking for, and then head to the bookstore and see what's there or what is calling to me, and then we'll go from there. I do have a few requirements for these books, and the main one is that they need to be pretty short because I don't want to spend the next whole week reading books that aren't of genres that I enjoy. So, I mean, hopefully I do enjoy these books, or at least some of them, but I still want to keep them short. Another requirement that I have is at least one of them has to be available on Spotify so that I can also listen to them through audiobooks. And that's about it. Besides that, I'm just hoping that I find some that call to me. I'm going to be looking into some of my favorite booktubers, book talkers, see what their favorites of these genres are. I'm going to check their Goodreads and find some 5 stars. And then, of course, I'm also just going to look at overall ratings on Goodreads and stuff like that. So let's get started. Okay, so I've been doing quite a bit of research and I still don't know what books I'm gonna read, but let me just give you an overview of the books I'm considering. I started with nonfiction books and I'm just not sure if I'm just not sure which direction I want to go in. I don't know if I want to read a memoir or something history related or just something niche and interesting. But here are some of the books that I found that I am considering. Also, most of these I just found going through TikTok and like seeing what people said over and over again in different videos and then comparing that to Goodreads reviews or ratings. The first book on my list is Cultist by Amanda Montell. This one is like 309 pages and also the lowest rated Goodreads book on my list. So I probably won't get that one. However, I am interested in cults and language that's used to... Yeah, never mind. I'm interested in cults. They're interesting to me. That's all. Okay, the next book on my list is the highest rated one, and that is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This is the only memoir, I believe, on my list, and I am so interested in this book. However, I've heard so much of it on TikTok, and I don't know if I've heard enough that it wouldn't be interesting anymore, so this might be the one. This would also be a good audiobook to listen to. So I'm definitely considering it. It is the highest rated and it's only 304 pages. So that might be it. But there is 2 more that I have on my list that I'm also really interested in reading. And that is Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty. This one's only 254 pages. It has a 4.22 average rating on Goodreads, and I believe it's about a mortician and some of her experiences in life. I think it makes you question or value life and death in different ways, and that's really all I know about it, but that sounds pretty interesting to me. And then the last book on my list for nonfiction, I don't think this is the one I'll get. However, it is the shortest one, but it also has the lowest rating, so probably not the one, and that is The Art Thief by Michael Finkel. I am interested in this one just because of the story. It's a story about a guy who was the biggest art thief, apparently. That's all I really know. And I am interested in that, but I think that one's the lowest on my list here. I don't think I'll be picking that one up. When I started doing my research for mystery and thriller books, I realized they're pretty much the same or often in the same category. So I decided for mystery books, I'm going to stick with like cozy mysteries or just pure mysteries. I'm not looking for a mystery thriller book because the thriller books I'm getting or I'm going to read is probably also going to have a bit of mystery in it, and that's fine. But I'm looking for more of a cozy mystery. And I found one book that I'm interested in picking up, but I am just going to look around Barnes & Noble and see what I find. It doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be the highest rated book on Goodreads. So the one book that I do have on my list that I'm considering is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. This one is 339 pages and has a 4.03 on Goodreads. So that one might be a top contender, but again, I'm just going to look around and see what I find. Now, moving on to thriller books. This is the category I'm most nervous about. I don't enjoy scary things. I don't like being scared. I don't know if I'm really going to enjoy thriller books, and I really don't know what these are about either. I'm just going with the ones I saw most people talk about or highest reviews. Anyways, the first book on my list is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I saw so many people mention this. This one has a 4.09 stars on Goodreads and it's 390 pages. That is the highest rated book on my list. And also, I saw everybody talking about this one on TikTok, but it's 390 pages and I don't know if I want to commit that much time to this genre, to be honest. The next book on my list is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This book has 4.01 stars on Goodreads and it's 254 pages, so it is the lowest rated book on my list and the least amount of pages on my list. I actually don't know what that one's about at all. I just saw a lot of people talking about it. And then His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This one is probably the one I'll pick up. It is 304 pages and it has 4.07 stars on Goodreads. And I really love Sarah Crowley's videos, and her favorite thriller author is Alice Feeney, and I've been wanting to read an Alice Feeney book. So this is probably the one I'll pick up. She rated this 5 stars and it also clearly has very high ratings on Goodreads. And I also read the description for this book and it sounds pretty good, and it also doesn't sound like it's gonna scare me too much. So I think that'll be the one, but again, I'll look around Barnes & Noble, see what we find, and then I'll come back and let you know which books I picked and what I'm gonna get started with. So yeah, see you later. So I just got home from Barnes & Noble and these are the books that I ended up picking up. I only picked up 2 out of the 3 books. One of them I just don't really want the physical copy of, but I did end up going with His and Hers by Alice Feeney. I also just found out this is on Kindle Unlimited, so that's great so that I can have a book to read at night. And then I went with Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers because I really just wasn't feeling the cozy mystery books that were available in there. So I did go with this and I'm hoping it's going to be good. The reviews are really good and it's pretty short. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then I didn't pick up a copy of I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, but I did start listening to it in the car while I was driving to Barnes & Noble. I'm about 30% through. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I thought that I had heard most of it on TikTok, but that wasn't the case. I actually haven't heard any of the first 30% before, so that's exciting. I'm sure there will be parts that I have heard before, but that's okay. I'm really interested in it. She definitely has had a pretty hectic and chaotic life up until this point in the book, and it's actually really sad, and I am happy that I went with a memoir for my first nonfiction book because it does read like a normal book. It's a whole plot of her life basically, and I find that pretty interesting. I don't know if I could have gotten into other forms of nonfiction books. So right now I'm pretty happy with my choices. I think I am going to get into His and Hers tonight just because I can read it on Kindle Unlimited, and it's going to get dark soon. I'm excited about these book choices. So far, this idea is pretty exciting. I definitely can't wait to get into these books. So yeah. Hey guys, it's Friday night and I have not picked this book up or gotten back into the Jeanette McCurdy book. I think it's called I'm Glad My Mom Died. However, I did start this last night. I read about 10 pages of it and then put it down. And then this morning I got back into it and now I'm about halfway through. I am so far really enjoying this. I think I like the aspect of not knowing what's going on or trying to guess what's happening. Every chapter, I'm convinced that I know who it is. And then the next chapter, I'm so thrown off and so confused. Right now, I'm convinced that it is him. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I think it was him, and I think he just doesn't remember doing it. But I've noticed that she has a pattern of also forgetting what she does, so I'm very confused. I also have never read a thriller book, so I don't know if I should even be expecting it to be either one of them. I know that thriller books are known for their dramatic ending or crazy twist that you're not supposed to see coming, so I'm thinking, well, what if it's not even one of them two? But if it is one of them two, I think it's him, and I'm just calling that now. But like I said, every chapter that changes, so I don't know, I could be completely wrong. Anyways, I'm really enjoying this. I'm gonna try to get back into I'm Glad My Mom Died tomorrow. I'm hoping to finish all of the books by the end of the weekend, which again, today is Friday. I started yesterday, so hopefully by the end of Sunday, I can finish up this book and also get started and finish up this book. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. I think this one will be a lot more relaxed and calm, but I do like how gripping this one is. It has definitely made me want to keep reading, and I wasn't really expecting that. So far I think I might like thriller books. That's a fun realization of today's video. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. I really didn't get much further into His and Hers last night. I think I'm still only about like 55% of the way through. Everything I said yesterday about it being him and him just forgetting, I don't know about that anymore. I don't think it is. I really don't know what's going on, but I'm enjoying the journey. Like I truly have no idea. And I guess that's how you're supposed to feel when you read a thriller book. I'm not sure, but I think I like it. So as of right now, I'm enjoying this book, and I am going to sit here and read a little bit and try to get a little bit more through this book. I also want to spend some time today. I am working on setting up my Notion, so I want to spend some time today setting up my Notion. And I think I'm going to listen to hopefully a lot of or majority of I'm Glad My Mom Died. And then tomorrow I want to get into Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, that's my morning and my plans for the day. So yeah. Hey guys, it's the next day. I just want to come on here and tell you about my reading of His and Hers. I finished this book yesterday. I went from like halfway through the book and just devoured the rest of it. I literally could not put it down. I am coming to the conclusion that I think I might be a thriller girly. I want to definitely read more thrillers. I'm actually so happy I did this video because I probably would have never picked up a thriller on my own. However, this was so fun. It was so interesting and entertaining, and it kept me so engaged. I literally just could not stop reading it. I am nervous to read anything scary though, so I won't be just picking up any random thriller. I'll definitely need recommendations. So if you have any non-scary thrillers, I would love to read them. This one was probably about as much as I'm willing to go in terms of scariness. But yeah, I really love this book. I was so wrong about every prediction I had for who the murderer was, but the ending was insane. I literally was still confused even in the last 3 chapters. When the final chapter came and it was finally revealed who the murderer was, I was still a little bit shocked. I want to reread this from the beginning because there's some scenes in here that I can't stop thinking about how it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, for example, there's the scenes that I'm assuming are the murderer's writings, and I'm a little bit confused because in the murderer's journal where they're watching Jack and Rachel in the car doing it, the murderer's writing about how they enjoy looking at her collarbones, and the most beautiful part of her was still on show, her collarbones. I've always found them to be one of the most erotic parts of a woman's body, and hers were striking. Looking at them made me ache. I liked her shoes too, so much that I decided to keep them. Basically, my point is, it was coming off as if the murderer was interested romantically or at least physically attracted to Rachel, and that just doesn't add up with who it was in the end. And maybe I'm just missing something, but I found that there's a lot of parts of this that I kind of want to go back and read because it's just not really making sense to me still. I really did enjoy this book though, and because it had me so engaged for so long, I ended up giving it 4.5 stars, and I definitely want to read more thrillers. So far to me, this video was a success. I found a new genre that I like and a new really great book. Anyways, I still have not picked back up I'm Glad My Mom Died. I want to get into that still this week sometime while I'm doing my Notion. I just want to listen to it. And then I've read like 10 pages of Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, and I am going to be reading that today. I'm going to the beach, so that's the book I'm bringing with me. And so far, I'm only like 10 pages in, but it seems pretty good, pretty interesting. So far, I'm really enjoying this video, and I'm excited to finish it up and see which genres I do actually enjoy reading. Hey guys, I'm sorry I look kind of crazy. I just got out the shower, but I just want to give a little update at where I'm at in this little reading challenge I've been doing. So I did finish I'm Glad My Mom Died. I finished that last night, and I'm not going to give it a rating because that's kind of weird. Like, it's literally her life story, but I will say that I did enjoy it. There were some parts where it got a little bit repetitive and I kind of just wanted to get through it in a sense. But overall, it was definitely interesting to read or to listen to. I really enjoyed that she was the one that was narrating the book. That made it pretty fun. But yeah, there was a certain point in the book where I kind of just was over it. I felt like it was just the same issue repeatedly. And this is so crazy because it's her life story. Like, this is why I'm not going to rate it, because it's just her life, and that's not fair to her in any way. But either way, I did enjoy it. I was interested in seeing some of the behind the scenes of her life while we were watching like iCarly and Sam and Cat, to see what was like actually going on behind the scenes is kind of insane. And I really feel bad for her. I mean, she had a pretty rough life, but yeah, I mean, what I have to say about reading nonfiction I don't think it's for me. I don't know if I'm going to really be picking up that much more nonfiction. I think for me to want to pick up a nonfiction book, it'll have to be something that I'm just like super interested in. So I'm sure there will come a day when I do pick up another nonfiction book, but I don't think that's for me, and I don't think I'll be doing it anytime soon. On to my mystery book, Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I feel like I've been reading this for so long. I think I started it on Sunday, so it's really only been, today's the third day, but it's only about 300 pages. It's, 333 pages. And I just feel like I can't get through it. I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's just the fact that there's like no stakes at all. I'm kind of the same with fantasy. I love fantasy books. I don't really enjoy cozy fantasy. I feel like there has to be stakes for me to enjoy it. I am enjoying this, so I'm not saying I'm not enjoying it. It is going good. I am hoping I'll finish it tonight. I really just want to be done with this challenge, to be honest, and get back to romance, fantasy, whatever. But overall, so far, I really am enjoying this. I think part of my issue with it is that I don't like Vera Wong, and I'm sorry if this is like culturally inappropriate to say, but I just don't think that it's funny or cute the way she acts and imposes herself onto other people's lives. And I know that's the point of the book. There really wouldn't be a book if she weren't doing that. But I don't like it. It just makes me mad. I'm picturing myself in Julia's shoes, for example. And oh my gosh, I'm happy it's working out for her, but I would go crazy. I couldn't do it. Specifically, the way she barged into Julia's home and then demanded or guilt tripped Julia into giving her the master bedroom. And now Julia's sleeping on the couch. Like that's just so insane to me. And I understand culturally if you expect that from people you've raised. However, you can't expect that just from random people you've just met, but that's just me. I do respect my elders, but she is driving me a little crazy. She's a little insane and a little intense. She is a good person, and I know that the intentions are all good, but I think that is part of the reason that I'm struggling to get through this book. Anyways, I'm going to try to finish this up tonight or tomorrow morning and let you know what my final thoughts are on this. I have I'm on page 188 and there's 333 pages or something like that. So we'll see if I can. I'm not sure if I can, but I'll try to finish this tonight and then be done with this challenge. So I just finished this book, and the main thing I have to say is I'm just so happy to be done with this video. I mean, it was entertaining. Like, it wasn't a bad book at all. I think I'll give it maybe like 3 stars. Yeah, I think 3 stars is probably good. This was entertaining, and that's about it. That's really the only thing I have to say about it. I did like the setting, the found family aspect. Like, I enjoyed all of the side characters, but for me, the main character, Vera Wong, was just so unlikable that I couldn't even act like I enjoyed it. Like, it was supposed to be entertaining and funny the way she acted, and I just really didn't find it to be funny or entertaining. I found it to just be extremely annoying. And maybe this is just like personal bias because I'm not really a big fan of the way a lot of older people act and the way society allows them to act that way and get away with it. I saw a lot of things in Vera that were just not appropriate. The way she manipulates situations and plays victim and gets away with it, and then somehow her son, Tilly, is the bad guy for putting a distance between them. That just really bothered me. And again, maybe it's just my own personal experience in life or my own upbringing, but I think that there should be consequences to your actions. I think that the way you treat people needs to evolve and change as you realize that it's not working. I mean, if your son wants nothing to do with you, there's probably a reason for that. And in my opinion, he had a great reason for that. She is overbearing. She is manipulative. She's just not someone you want to be around. And if you don't want to change, then you need to accept that. But I don't want to keep going on and on about her. I think that's just more of a personal bias based off of my lived experiences. I do think that she was funny in a lot of scenarios. I do think she had good intentions, and I did like seeing it all backfire on her at one point in this book. But I mean, overall, yeah, this was a pretty interesting, funny little story. I really enjoyed all of the side characters. I really enjoyed the setting and her little tea shop, and how she always has like a concoction to make the perfect concoction for every person in every scenario. There were a lot of things I did like about Vera. I know I'm just being a big hater, but overall she wasn't the worst person ever. She had good intentions. She was funny. I think you know how I feel about her negatively, but I do want to just preface that she isn't a bad person and I don't hate her. It was just hard for me to get through this book because of her character. But overall, it wasn't too bad. It took me a little while to get through. I think this is like 4 days of reading and it's only 333 pages. I am happy to be done with this. I definitely won't be reading any more cozy mysteries. It doesn't go at the pace I need it to go at, and I just don't think it's for me. However, if you have any recommendations for thriller books that are not scary, please send them my way, because I really enjoyed this and I would definitely read more thriller books as long as they're not really creepy. I can't do the really scary, creepy books. Overall, I would say this video is a success. I think I gave His and Hers 4.5 stars, and this one I gave about 3 stars. So I wouldn't say that's too bad. I think this was a successful video. I also really enjoyed I'm Glad My Mom Died. Again, I'm not going to be rating that. I just don't think that's appropriate. That's her life story. But I did enjoy listening to it and hearing a lot more about her life. And yeah, I'm happy I did this. I found some stuff that I do like, and then also some genres that I probably won't be picking back up again. Anyways, I'm really excited for this video to be over. I did not enjoy having to read books of a genre that I don't normally read. I really have just been missing my romance and fantasy, and I'm excited to get back into that. So I'll probably be reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab next, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to end this video here. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you.